Good evening, everybody. The fourth and final quarter-final of the 1987 Cricket World Cup was played today in Bombay. It was Zimbabwe versus India for the right to play England in the second semi-final. This is the same ground where West Indies hit that massive 360 for 5 against Zimbabwe over 2 weeks ago, and obviously where Desmond Haynes got that World Cup record 181. Zimbabwe, obviously, that was the last time they played about 2 weeks ago, and they won the toss on a sort of normal, slowish pitch. We felt there would be something in it for the bowlers, but Zimbabwe, because of the fact they conceded 360 on this ground, and the fact that the majority of the match had been won by the team batting first, Zimbabwe won the toss and elected to bat. We felt that that could be a pretty bad decision by John Tricos, and as it turned out to be a pretty appalling decision in the end. I mean, let's have a look at the score here. It's even worse. That's better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Zimbabwe, absolutely ruthless performance from India. Zimbabwe, their worst performance of the tournament at the worst possible time. All out for 135 in just 44.2 overs. And in the end, they were probably lucky that they weren't bowled out for under 100. I mean, nothing really there. There's only one player which really stood out. 61 off 120 deliveries for Andrew Pycroft, who batted at number 4 today. 6 for Gavin Patterson. Kevin Arnott 1. A duck for David Houghton, who ends what was a half-decent tournament, but he's ended it very disappointingly. There was also a duck for Kevin Coven. 16 for Andrew Roller. 10 for Ian Butchart, a duck for Ali Shah. 23 off 46 deliveries for Babu Rahman. He looked the only one that looked like could contend with the Indian bowlers. 0, a duck for John Cricross, and 7 not out for Malcolm Jarvis. 135 all out in 44.2 overs. Superb bowling performance from India. 17 for 0 for Kapil Dev. Didn't get a wicket but bowled well. 6 for 0 for Azharuddin. 28 for 1 for Ravi Shastri. Laxman Shivalana Krishnan. 36 for 1. 3 for 21 for Meander Singh, who moves on to 13 wickets in the tournament now. But look at those figures from Manoj Prabhakar. 4 for 19 off of 6 overs. A wonderful, wonderful performance. He took 4 wickets. Remember, after the first 10 overs, they were 18 for 4 from their first 10 overs, and the game was basically done and dusted. I mean, he took the first 4 wickets to fall, Manoj Prabhakar, and at 13 for 4, it was basically damage limitation. Wonderful bowling performance from Prabhakar. He hasn't got the wickets that he deserved, but he produced performances today. In the event, India were just too good in the end. For them. India were just too good in the end. They chased 136 in just 28 overs. They chased 136 in 28 overs exactly. 31 for Chris Srikanth. The informed Sunil Gavaskar didn't get his 50 in 6 innings. He ended 43 off 50 deliveries. Prabhakar was promoted up to number 3, but his 11 came off 37 deliveries. He really struggled out there, but he got a not out. He ended up getting a not out, which really helped him. And 46 off just 48 deliveries for 46 off just 48 deliveries for Dilip Venkateswar not out. So the final outcome of this one-sided match between Zimbabwe and India at Bombay, Zimbabwe won the toss and elected to bat on a normal pitch, which produced a little bit of movement for the fast bowlers. They were all out for 135 in 44.2 overs, probably their worst batting performance of the tournament, and probably, in my opinion, their worst batting performance since they changed their name to Zimbabwe from Rhodesia. India comfortably chased runs down in just 28 overs, 136 for 2. India winning by 8 wickets, and unsurprisingly, man of the match for his 4 for 19 off 6 overs, and his 11 not out off 40 deliveries was Manoj Prabhakar of India. This is the semi-final lineup. Pakistan play Australia in the first semi-final, and England will play India in the second semi-final, a repeat of the group match only a couple of weeks back where India won by 48 runs. The Pakistan-India final, which everyone wants in the subcontinent, and I'm sure the whole of India would like to see. Well, I'm not too sure really. I mean, I don't like Pakistan, but most Indian supporters said we want to play Pakistan in the final so we can beat them. Australia and England, I'm sure will have a lot to say about that. England have played really well this World Cup, and so have Australia. I personally think those two matches are probably 50-50. We'll talk about them in a moment, but it's Pakistan versus Australia and England versus India in the World Cup quarterfinals. Let's have a look at the star players. Zimbabwe star players, like with New Zealand star players, Jeff Crow and obviously Woody Watson struggled throughout the tournament, and we're going to have a look at the Zimbabwe star players, and in the end, 27 runs in 3 innings at an average of 13, but only 4 wickets in 5 matches. His average has gone down from 96 to 55, but 4 wickets in 5 matches, and he didn't bowl in 1 match as well. Andrew Twycross has had a desperately disappointing tournament, and that's probably the reason why Zimbabwe struggled. But it's Zimbabwe's batting which has been the disappointment. 223 runs in 6 matches, an average of 44, but ever since that 116, and that 50, I think he got 50 against Rebel South African 11. I think he got 50 against Rebel South African 11, Dave Houghton. His last 4 innings have only seen him score 67 runs. So in the end, he's had a solid tournament, but he's had a disappointing end and probably hasn't done as well as he should have after he started off the tournament so well. After he started off the tournament so well against Rebel South African 11, and obviously that wonderful innings in which he nearly secured a famous victory for Zimbabwe. As for the Indian star players, well, 12 wickets in 6 matches now for Iqbal. That wonderful 4-wicket haul in a man-of-the-match performance sees him put his bowling average down to 20, averaging 9 with a bat, but 12 wickets in 6 matches. He's one behind the leading wicket taker, India's leading wicket taker, Mahendra Singh, who's taken 13 wickets in 6 matches. He's had a wonderful tournament, Mahendra Singh, and definitely the reason why India have done so well this World Cup, along with the other bowler, who's been very economical, and he was economical today, and he took the final wicket, which is Ravi Shastri. Kapil Dev didn't get a wicket again today. 4 wickets in 6 matches. He's not been at his best with a ball, averaging 43, 67 with a bat. He didn't have to bat today, so he's had a pretty quiet game overall, but he was very economical in his bowling figures. So that's it. It's Pakistan, Australia, and England versus India. England versus India is a repeat of the group stage match earlier on in the tournament. I think those matches are 50-50. Everyone is expecting a Pakistan-India final. People predicted the Pakistan-India final before the tournament began, and there's a chance that Pakistan and India, it could be a Pakistan-India final, but Australia and England could also reach the final. That would be a good final. The old enemy coming up against one another, and if it's like anything like the group match which we had in Ahmedabad, that would be something special as well. I think both matches are 50-50. Australia, that monumental win against West Indies, like I said, if that doesn't give them confidence to go on and win the tournament, then what else? Pakistan have been absolutely irresistible in the World Cup so far, and they are favourites quite rightly as well, but Australia will have a lot to say, and especially if Australia bat first in that match, and they bat well, as they've done throughout the tournament, there's an opportunity there for Australia to secure a surprise. England versus India. England have played brilliantly throughout the tournament. They've been pretty consistent. They were ruthless against New Zealand yesterday. But India have shown their best performance of the tournament today with an emphatic win against Zimbabwe. But Zimbabwe were just, I think after being 18 for 4 from the first 10 overs, I think they just wanted the game to be over and done with. A comprehensive victory for India in the end. I think that's also 50-50. I can't predict those two semi-finals because Australia have played pretty well throughout the tournament and England have played pretty well throughout the tournament as well. In my opinion, before best teams are in the semi-finals, many people will talk about West Indies having won 4 out of 5 group matches, but in all those group matches, apart from the match where they hit 360, West Indies didn't really click, whereas Australia lost the match against England, which they shouldn't have lost, and obviously they, even though they lost by 56 runs to India, they batted throughout the full 50 overs with a man of the match performance, I think, from Dean Jones, he hit 62 off 100 deliveries in a gritty innings, and that showed the fight that Australia have shown this tournament. And if Australia play like they did against the West Indies with ruthlessness, Pakistan are going to have some problems. And I think India may have some problems as well. England didn't really play well against India, but they weren't completely outclassed. They lost by 48 runs, but India just squeezed them in the end. You just get the impression if England win the toss in that match, that could be interesting. I think the toss is going to be crucial now. I think whoever bats first in the remaining 3 matches could well end up winning the match. Which I know we've seen 2 run chases in the quarterfinals, but I do believe that this is a bat-first tournament. It has proven to be a bat-first tournament. I think those 2 run chases which England and India managed in Ahmedabad and Bombay, I think that's only 8 times in this tournament, and we've played 34 matches. And we've played 34 matches, only 8 times of the team batting second won. So it definitely has been a bat-first tournament. So we're back in a couple of days' time for the first semi-final between Pakistan and Australia. This is going to be really exciting now. The tension is going to be unbearable for those 4 countries. So join me for the first semi-final between Pakistan and Australia in a couple of days' time. This is me, Lon Tower, reporting on the 1987 Cricket World Cup being played here in India on Brian Lara Cricket on PlayStation. Until the first semi-final between Pakistan and Australia, it's a very goodbye from me.